Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for today. It's not your video thought for yesterday. This is your one for today. So I'm talking this week about King David, and I mentioned in yesterday's video thought for the day the passage about how David wanted to build a palace, a home for God, because David had a nice home and he knew God was the reason he had what he had, and he just felt guilty that he's living in a nice home and God's ark's in a tent. I told this story from a perspective of 1 Chronicles 17, but the same story is told in 2 Samuel chapter 7. It's got a little bit of a different perspective and angle and point. In 2 Samuel 7, David asked this question as he's talking to God in his prayer life. David says, God, who am I? And what is my house that you've brought me this far? I love that pause and reflection. David looked back on his life and realized that God had selected him out of all of his brothers to anoint as king, that God had taught him how to take care of people by teaching him how to take care of sheep as a shepherd boy, that God had taught him the power of aligning your skill set with God, as David used a slingshot and rocks to defend the sheep against bears and lions and to defend Israel against Goliath the giant. God brought David into King Saul's household, gave him a best friend with Jonathan, grew him up as a young man with military understanding, with understanding of administration of a kingdom, seeing things that were done right, seeing things that were done wrong, learning lessons. And then God protected David as he went out in battle, protected David as he had to live abroad as an immigrant among the Philistines because Saul, a crazy guy, sought his life, was with David and when Saul died, made David king of Judah over in Hebron, and then ultimately brought all of Israel under him. God so took this young shepherd boy from the hills and truly made him king of a marvelous young kingdom. David paused and just said, I didn't deserve any of this. I didn't do this on my own. Who am I? And he does it in this time of reflection before God, when he's there in prayer before God. That story really touches me. I urge you, if you've not done so, just go read 2 Samuel chapter 7. Read the whole chapter. It is powerful. And it reminds me that when we have times of peace, when we have times of reflection, we really should look to God and talk to God, because I guarantee you all of us are going to find our relationship with God is rather lopsided. He's been much better to us than we have ever been to him and than we ever deserve. And God takes us all on a journey of life. And God travels with us, and he sees us through dark valleys, and he lifts us up to a higher place when we're down. And he comes down to us in the lower place and laments and mourns with us. And he does all of this within the midst of having a plan for you and me in our life. Now, some may have international significance like God's plans did for David. Others of us, he just may have significance in our little circle of life. But that doesn't matter. That God has significance for each of us is clear in his plan. And we should rightly stop with gratitude. We rightly praise God in humility and wonder, and hold in deep appreciation the life God gives us, all the while seeking to show him love in response. And that's why I've made this your video thought today.